Hey guys, real quick before we get to the video, I know it's been almost 3 weeks since I posted. My computer decided to take a big fat doo-doo and I couldn't use it anymore. So I had to get it fixed. And now that I finally got it fixed, here's a video. So sorry guys for the delay. I know I said I'd be posting more, but here we go. So I wanted to take a break from all the political nonsense, all the stuff we've been seeing in Minnesota. I know I had my last couple videos were talking about that and things have been going crazy. But anyways, guys, I want to talk about something else that's been on my chest.
That COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
Lockdown nostalgia. It's hard to believe that we are coming up on the 6th anniversary of the world stopping, 2020. Lately, I've been thinking about why so many of us have this lockdown nostalgia, and I think it goes deeper. And I think it has something to do with the snow day effect, which, by the way, I'm recording this on a snow day. I didn't have to go to work due to the inclement weather that we've been having the last couple days. But think about it. As we get older, the magic of Christmas starts to fade. It becomes about the stress of buying gifts, the chaos of travel, and the pressure to have a perfect time. Christmas is a scheduled break, and schedules become exhausting. But a snow day? That magic actually gets better as you get older. A snow day is an unplanned, unearned gift from the universe. It's the world saying, the roads are closed, the boss can't expect you to be there, and the system has had a glitch today. You are free. 2020 was the ultimate global snow day. For the first time in our lives, the engine of the world didn't just slow down, it stalled. And while I know for a lot of people, this time was miserable and terrifying, I don't want to downplay that. But for others, it felt like a heavy weight was finally lifted off of our chest. Now I'm just going to be straight up. I am one hell of an introvert. I don't like talking to people. I don't like going to social events. I've always been an introvert. I grew up hating the social performance of school, the constant noise, the forced interactions, the feeling of being drained before the day even really started. When the lockdown hit, I was only 20 years old, and I was already starting to realize the horrors of adulthood. I was staring into the abyss of adulthood, and I just did not want to jump into that. It was basically just school 2.0 because I was in college during the time with more responsibilities and I had a job. I actually worked at Walmart, and I feel like I had more expectations and even less time for myself. So when the world shut down, for someone like me, it was a dream come true. Suddenly the social battery was not a factor anymore. I didn't have to feel guilty for staying in my room. I didn't have to navigate the horrors of entering a workforce that felt like it was designed to burn me out. We were already experts at staying inside, and finally, the world was forced to join us in the quiet. Think back to that time you were a kid. That feeling of waking up, looking out the window, and seeing a foot of snow, that rush of joy wasn't just about the snow. It was about the interruption. Lockdown was the ultimate adult snow day. It was the ultimate interruption. I mean, once you reach adulthood, you realize the world never slows down. It's always go, 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 go. It's always about the grind. We're told to grind and optimize every single second. But during that era, the world was finally forced to take a breath and forced to reflect because there was nothing else to do. We realized that maybe, just maybe, the pace we were living at before wasn't actually human. And boy, oh boy, some of the core memories that I'm going to have for the rest of my life go back during lockdown. I mean, let's just talk about video games, bro. The video games, oh my God. Like, Nintendo and Call of Duty had some inside knowledge of when this pandemic was going to happen because they released two of the most influential games of that era. I mean, I think those two games single-handedly defined gaming for lockdown. I mean, just the idea of no responsibilities, waking up, being able to eat whatever you want. And yes, I was getting very fat at this time. Being able to eat whatever you want, play video games all fucking day with your friends. I mean, Animal Crossing made such a buzz during the beginning of lockdown. Like, holy shit. I had a Switch Lite, and then I regretted getting a Switch Lite, and I really wanted to get a regular Nintendo Switch so I could play Animal Crossing on my TV. And holy shit, bro. It was so hard to find a fucking Nintendo Switch. Like, I worked at Walmart at the time, and I would call up my coworker to see if he'd gotten any in. One time, we got 6 in, And I rushed to the store, and it was still a 15-minute drive for me, or about 20-minute drive. I don't fucking remember. I got there, all 6 of them within the span of 30 minutes were fucking gone. I was so pissed off. I was like, oh my God, like trying to find a Nintendo Switch was like trying to find a PS5 whenever that thing first released. You guys remember that? But anyways, I was finally able to get my hands on one. And yes, you bet I used some of that stimulus money to get a Nintendo Switch, and I was finally able to play Animal Crossing on my TV. So yeah, I would have like a rotation of games every single day, you know, because I had all day to play. So I would start with like Fortnite, and then if I got a dub, I would usually try to play until I at least got one dub, and then I moved on to my Animal Crossing island, make sure that I was making the necessary updates to make sure that my villagers were having a nice life. And then after that, I was starting to get into Smash, and I was starting to play Smash online, and you could only imagine how I smelt like, especially after playing Smash. And then after that was done, I moved on to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Oh, the multiplayer of that game. I mean, the maps were fucking dog shit. Obviously, Piccadilly, which I call Pick-a-Shitty because it's a god-awful map. Anyways, though, I would hop into some multiplayer because, you know, I had to prepare for that night, because whenever nighttime came around, you know what it was time for. It was me and the boys hopping into Verdansk. Oh my gosh. I mean, just peak time for video games, peak time to like play with my friends. Like you may have asked me, like, you weren't sad about not seeing your friends? No, fuck no. I was an introvert. Again, I'm telling you, this was a dream for me, man. And I think a lot of people can attest to this. Gaming wasn't just a hobby anymore. It was our social life. And then there were the TikTok trends. My girlfriend at the time, who was now my wife, had downloaded TikTok, and she was just continuously doom scrolling. You know, that was when doom scrolling was first introduced. And I was like, oh my God. She's like, you need to download this app. There's so much funny shit on here. And I'm like, haha, what am I, gay? And then I ultimately ended up downloading it. And then I fell into the trap of doom scrolling without end. And then, of course, Tiger King came out, and my wife and I just binged Tiger King without end. It was just, oh my gosh. And then the TikTok trend, one of my favorite TikTok trends, and it still is. My TikTok feed filled with nostalgia shit and all that stuff. But the one man, there was just this song in 2020. I'm gonna play it for you right now. Ah, yes. The What Bed Would You Sleep In ass song is what we call it. I kid you not, there would be times 2, 3 in the morning that I would take a shower and I would just play that song out loud and just let it loop over. It was just, man, just times were different, bro. But obviously this lifestyle could not be sustainable forever. We obviously saw the negative mental effects for a lot of people during this time. I'm not romanticizing anything. We saw the unhealthy effects of too much time on our hands. The isolation, the stagnation, it did take a toll on a lot of people. Us humans aren't meant to be stationary forever. But the fact that we look back on it with any kind of longing proves our current normal is missing a lot of something that is fundamental. The right to rest and reflect and just pause. It's not that some of us long for another pandemic or anything like that. But it was like that feeling of a magical snow day, a very long magical snow day that it seemed that it would never end, but ultimately did, and I'm glad it did, and it needed to end. But again, it forced the world to slow down, and that's what I think a lot of us loved most, is that everyone was forced to slow down when we live in a world that doesn't ever slow down. We don't ever get to actually rest, even when we have planned rest. And the reason why someone like me misses it is because I was just entering adulthood. I was staring into the abyss of endless responsibility. And I feel like lockdown kind of put everything on pause and almost made me feel like a kid again. It was the longing to not think about responsibility for just a little bit. And again, I think that's healthy with moderation. It's good for us humans not to have to consistently worry about responsibilities. So just pause and not have to worry about responsibilities. You know how that feels, right? That nighttime feeling where you don't have to worry about going to work the next day. You know that you're off and you're about to hop on the game with the boys with no worries about working tomorrow. You know how that feeling is. All your friends have just hopped on Fortnite and they're waiting for you and you don't got to worry about work tomorrow. That's the feeling that we long for. But again, It's only good in moderation. So 6 years later, do I actually miss the pandemic? Absolutely not. But do I miss a world where it was okay to just sit for a minute? Maybe even longer than a minute? Maybe even longer than a few days? Yeah, I think we all do. We're so caught up in the nonsense of today that we've forgotten to give ourselves a snow day without needing a global catastrophe to justify it. Maybe the lesson of 2020 wasn't just how to survive a virus, but also how to survive in a world that never slows down. Subscribe and like for more critical content.